8:30 in the Tennessee Valley, and time for another edition of Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard. Good morning, Dr. Pollard.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Donna. Good morning. How are you?
Just 1 second, Dr. Pollard. There we go. Good morning again, Dr. Pollard.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am doing well, doing well. How are you?
I am well. I'm really, really well. Had a great weekend, a busy weekend, a full weekend, but I'm really excited by the topic we're talking about this morning.
Yes, I am too. You have a word for us?
Yes, always. And our thought for meditation actually comes from Matthew chapter 25, verse 35. There Jesus said that in that day, he's going to say to people, he said, he's going to say, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom that I've prepared for you. And then he begins listing the reasons, Donna.
Yeah.
He says, for I was hungry and you gave me food. Now we could stop right there. He also says other things. I was a stranger, you took me in. I was naked, you clothed me. I was sick, you visited me. But let's stop at the one, for I was hungry and you gave me food. In March of 2020, Real College, who is a survey company, they did a survey among college students, and they found that this was right at the beginning of the pandemic. They found that 39% of students responded saying that they had experienced food insecurity in the 30 days up to the survey. Another survey said that 40%, roughly the same number, another similar survey said that students had experienced food insecurity in the last 30 days leading up to the survey. This is from EduRisk. So when we think about it, sometimes when we think about food insecurity, we may think about people who've been laid off from their jobs. We may think about persons who are homeless. We may think about all of those categories, but we rarely think of a university campus as a place, or college campus, as a place where students can experience food insecurity. And so every institution has to address this in some kind of way. And so what we're talking about today is the way that two of our institutions are addressing this matter of food insecurity. And I'm so happy that our guests are here this morning. Dr. Pat Sims from Drake State, Dr. Monica Sudeall-Hawkins from Drake State, Dr. Prudence Pollard from Oakwood University, Dr. Lisa Dalrymple from Oakwood University, and yours truly. We're happy to talk about a subject that should be close to our hearts. Yeah. Well, he said, I was hungry and you gave me food. So that's the call for us to be, as Raphael Warnock said during his campaign, to be a Matthew 25 Christian.
All right now. All right.
Where we see a need and we address it. And that's what we want to do today. I want to be one of those. I want to be a Matthew 25 Christian.
Hey, man, I love that, Dr. Pollard. So we're here to talk about this partnership that you now have. I don't know if you've signed the memorandum already, but this is a memorandum to officially launch the Partnership for a Healthier Community with Drake. Can you tell us?
Yes, absolutely. And that's today at 10 o'clock. And we'll say a little bit more about that. My dear friend, Dr. Pat Sims is here. Just one of the most admired leaders in education in all of Alabama and in the country. And we're grateful that she's here with us this morning. And we'll talk about all of this morning. So that's what we're here to talk about today, how that looks as we go forward.
All righty. So we have, two colleges working together now. Tell us about this partnership. And I guess I can direct this to Dr. Prudence Pollard first, and so she can talk about how this all came about.
Thank you so much, Donna. I think our listening audience will be excited to know it was during our soft launch. Dr. Lisa Dalrymple did a test launch for our mobile market, and an employee from Drake State drove by and saw what we were doing in that food desert and said, wow, I think this needs to be at Drake State. And that employee of Drake State, I understand, now I'm hearing this story secondhand, went to Dr. Pat Sims, Dr. Patricia Sims, the president of Drake State, and said, Dr. Sims, I'm so excited what I just saw. Do you think we can make something happen for Drake State? Because many of our students and the community around or within which Drake State sits also are suffering from food insecurity. But I'd also say, because these are universities, Donna, it's not just food. It's also the problems that comes from job insecurity. And Drake State, as a community college, is preparing individuals to not only to move on to a 4-year institution, but also to go directly to work.
Okay.
And so if we have this persistent problem, then you can understand why 2 HBCUs would want to collaborate to solve a problem facing our community.
Wow, this is fantastic. So let's talk to Dr. President Patricia Sims from Drake, and tell us how that conversation went, and what was your first response and thought about the idea?
Well, good morning, and thank you again, Drs. Pollard, and Dr. Thank you all for having us. So, Dr. Pollard, I'm going to have to take you because you can really tell the Drake State story. So, great job. Thank you for that. That is essentially how this happened, and it was so exciting. Well, of course, if you know Dr. Hawkins, when she gets excited, it's a big deal, right? And so she brought the idea to us, and so I want to thank the Oakwood family, because Dr. Pollard mentioned the food insecurity that exists on the campus, and this initiative was launched for the Oakwood campus. But I am so thankful that you were willing to expand it to the broader community, so which provides an opportunity for us, because many of the students, the people that we serve, we have many of the same challenges, and for the mobile market to be mobile, because for many of our students, transportation is also a challenge.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's not that many people in our community don't care to make healthy choices. There are so many barriers to them. And so this is a great opportunity. And I think the most exciting thing about it is that it's important. As we all know, HBCUs are being highlighted now more than ever. And so it's really important for our community, for us to demonstrate that as 2 HBCUs, we can work together, we can collaborate and move forward initiatives that benefit our entire community. So this is definitely celebration worthy. I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, just for our listeners who may be picking up our conversation in midstream, what I'd like to do is to simply illustrate what Dr. Sims and Dr. Prudence Pollard have talked about today by just playing a very quick 1-minute video clip that will give us a full context for our conversation this morning. So I'm sharing my screen per Audrey as soon as I'm able to do that. I'm sharing my screen. Let's see what we've got here. There we are. And so we're going to play something that kind of gives us some background as we continue this conversation. It was covered on the day of the launch, and so here we are.
University and local organizations have teamed up to keep Huntsville healthy, one stop at a time. The campus officially launched its mobile market today. Our Kenesha Dees has the details on how leaders are working to serve underserved communities.
Northwood's housing community is the first stop along the route for Oakwood University's mobile market. They hope to address the issue of food insecurity and food deserts.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has indicated that there are certain zip codes, this being one of them, that are food deserts.
Oakwood University leaders hope to close the gap for lack of fruit and veggies in Northwest Huntsville. Their goal, accessibility and affordability with the launch of their new mobile market. But that's not all they have in store. As part of their Healthy Campus and Healthy Community initiative, they're in the construction phase of a new facility.
We're now in phase 2. Phase 2 is our Community Health Action Center. And on this side will be a Community Health Action Clinic.
Activities include cooking classes and ways to reverse diabetes. Student ambassadors will work both at the Community Health Action Center and the mobile market.
Also a former resident, I grew up in the community and I knew that there's a lack of affordable fresh fruits and vegetables.
Oakwood University partnered with the Huntsville Housing Authority and the Community Action Association of Alabama. The Northwoods housing community is one of 6 stops total. The mobile market will run bi-weekly, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 1 to 3:30 p.m.
This is a great idea. This is a great concept, bringing affordable items that will hopefully help residents become more healthy. This is just absolutely great.
And Oakwood University plans to open their Community Health Action Center by this June. Putting the Valley first, Kenesha Dees, WZDX News.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll close the share. That's not what we wanted to share. So, so that gives our listeners a fuller picture of exactly what we're talking about, and we continue our conversation. It gives us a sense of what this actually looks like and what we're trying to do in our community. And we'd like to thank Dr. Sims as well as the Drake community for being partners in this process. I mean, people could say no, right? People can say no. Right. But again, though, looking at the needs of our community, again, it's important for us to make sure that we're doing all that we can to help address some of the real needs that are present in our community, Donna.
Right. So let's hear from Dr. Lisa Dalrymple, because she's the Director of Healthy Campus 2020 and Associate Professor of Nutrition and Dietetics, and a major role in launching the mobile market, right? So how do you feel about this new partnership, and how is it going to really extend the service of this program?
Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. And when we first started this initiative or this project to address the needs of our communities, we did not know the extent to which it would blossom to, but we are so excited for the partnerships that we formed thus far. And this is just a bonus to partner with another HBCU to address the needs. And as stated earlier, there are so many issues that our communities face that has been exacerbated by the pandemic. Huntsville, according to the 2019 Census Bureau, has a population of over 200,000. Of that, 16.8% of adults live below the poverty line. So when we think about that, the financial strain that a lot of individuals are under to be able to buy and purchase healthy food options is just one of the issues. And so distance, location, the availability of retail stores in neighborhoods to provide these are all issues that this project will prayerfully address. And we see that it is already addressing. And so this will play so far into the health issues that we see as well. So many comorbidities that affect people of color, in neighborhoods like this, in low-income neighborhoods and neighborhoods that do not have access to the resources that are needed. Mm-hmm. So this mobile market is just a bonus to so many individuals. The Community Health Action Center that's coming, we are prayerfully and excitedly waiting for the future and to see what is to come. So I'm happy for this day. I look forward to it. And I'm sure that I share the same sentiments as my colleagues do.
Right. And the bonus you talk about that this is bringing to the community. I'm wanting to hear from Dr. Monica Hawkins now to share with us how she feels that this is a bonus for the students there. She is the Director of Admissions and Registrar at Drake. So can you respond to that, Dr. Hawkins?
Yes, thank you so much, Donna, and thank you all for having me on the show. I'm excited about this opportunity. Again, when I saw the mobile market come to reality in the community, I just couldn't help but say, Dr. Sims, let's get on board with this, because we know that it's no secret to any of us here on the show today that there is a health crisis in our community. We as a people cannot just wait on Superman to come and save us from the crisis. We have to be proactive and intentional in the way that we address the health issues in our communities. And I think that this partnership is going to do just that. I'm absolutely excited about the possibility that our college community can do to address the needs in our community. I think that this is what Caring Campus is really all about.
Mm.
We not only care about what is happening on our campuses, but we care about what happens around our campuses. And that is our social responsibility to be concerned. Our community is our college. And without the community, we would not have a college. And so we have to extend to our community the types of assistance that they need to be able to ensure that their needs are being met. And so this important initiative, I really do applaud Dr. Sims, Dr. Pollard, and Dr. Leslie Pollard and Dr. Prudence Pollard for their forward thinking and coming together for this very critical collaboration. We are really excited about it, and we are ready to receive the mobile market on our Drake campus and our surrounding communities so that we can take advantage of this, the advantage of the fresh fruits and vegetables and at a reasonable cost. We look forward to the health and nutritional nuggets that we will be able to offer to the community regarding health and wellness and, just fulfilling the needs of the community. This is just the beginning of an impactful partnership. And I believe that greater benefits will be realized as this initiative unfolds. So we are excited.
So you are the one that went to Dr. Sims and said, we got to get in this somehow, huh? That was you.
And when I get excited, people can't ignore me.
She was the drive-by reconnaissance person for F. Drake State Community College.
Yes, and that's how partnerships are made, right? There's somebody being excited about something good that's happening. Do you feel like Dr. Pollard and anyone, either president can speak to this question? Do you feel like more partnerships will be coming out of this? And is this how unusual is this that two HBCUs in the same town actually get together and do something together? How
I think it for us between A&M, Drake State, Oakwood, we work on various fronts at various times. Dr. Hugini has been a real wonderful spirit about doing things together. But I think we're unique because I'm in and out of the HBCU community at the national level too, and sometimes it's challenging to get our teams to work together to synergize. But not here in Northern Alabama. We've been able to do it. We've done it before. We'll do it again. And we'll continue to work because we're stronger together, especially in working for our communities. I mean, if you look at some of the health challenges that plague our communities, no one can do for us like us. And we just have to be ready to do that. I think Dr. Sims and I are of the same spirit when it comes to that. Dr. Sims?
Absolutely, I agree wholeheartedly. And Dr. Hawkins mentioned it. It's our social responsibility. I mean, we're at a point where we have to come together, leverage our resources, harvest our own talents, and lift up our community. And we can do this. And this is a great demonstration that it can be done. It is nice. We partner and do a lot of things together. So it's really important that we embrace initiatives like this so that they extend, so that the community externally can see and know that they have 3 strong HBCUs in their community. And I mean, I think it speaks well for all of our HBCUs because Alabama A&M certainly is a partner with us as well, but it speaks to this community that we are willing to do the work.
Right.
Recognize the need, and we're willing to do the work to address it together. And so we are very excited to be a part of this initiative. And the last point I'd like to make is that the other benefit is that, and I'm sure Dr. Lisa and all of your research, you know that students who have healthier diets, they perform better. And so when students perform better, they can earn better grades, which positions them for better opportunities. And ultimately that leads to a higher earning potential, greater quality of life. And so when you have strong individuals, that leads to strong families and strong churches and strong schools and strong communities and engaged citizens. And so that's the ultimate goal, to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And we're excited that this initiative will be a giant leap towards addressing a need in our community.
Absolutely. So Dr. Dalrymple, could you just paint the picture of how this is going to look? Does it just mean that we're going to drive the mobile market to their campus and they're going to be, just paint the picture for how we're going to expand the service to Drake?
Sure. So Drake State will be included in our current schedule that we have. And so the mobile market will be located on the campus of Drake State. where it will be open to students, employees, and also community members will come to that location. And so we're excited that we do have the means to do it. And we already have a robust schedule that is in operation. And so we are happy to know that we can add Drake State onto that. So our student health ambassadors from Oakwood will still play a significant part. Also, students from Drake State will be assisting. And so that is just another way to show that not only are we providing the service, but we're really working together. We really are working together, our students coming together to see what it's like, to see how it is to fulfill a need and to provide that need. And so we're excited for that, and it will start today. It will kick off today.
Wow. So students from Drake and Oakwood University will be working together to provide the services. That's wonderful.
So our lead health ambassadors, yes, they are the face of the mobile market. It's for our students and by our students. And so our health ambassadors are with us when we go out into the community. And so we definitely want to, that was something that came up as we discussed this initiative with Drake State, and administration from Drake State stated that they wanted their students to see how this operation worked. And so they asked that their students be a part of this. And of course, we'll welcome that possibility. And so our students, Oakwood University students, as well as Drake students, will assist with the operation in order to serve this need.
Wow. So Dr. P, I know this really makes you feel good to see this really developing so deeply and on so many different levels. Dr. Prudence, Pollard.
Thank you so much, Donna. Yes, definitely. I mean, I remember when Dr. Lisa and I stayed up, was it midnight that night, Dr. Lisa, when we were working on the ADECA grant, which started as a larger opportunity across the university, but then we saw a little slice of it that could bless our community. And so from that late night, the next day, I think Dr. Lisa's eyes were red. From that day to see now where institutions like Drake, they're coming to us. You heard earlier in the clip, Mr. Antonia McGinnis, the Director of Housing for Huntsville, Alabama. When he spoke, you should know that Mr. McGinnis, it manages those 6 areas where the mobile market goes to. So he was there on launch day because he was so excited. That was our second partnership, Dr. Dalrymple, where we, the agreement with Mr. McGinnis was to allow us to bring the mobile market to the parking spaces at those 6 housing facilities. Now we don't have to go. Individuals are coming to us like Dr. Pat Sims. She's coming to us and saying, hey, can you include us because we see the same need? So we're excited. The message is going out. And I think we're demonstrating something here that will bring rich fruit for our community. First, Oakwood University said we can be agentic. We don't need a grant to do this thing. With no budget, nothing, let's figure out how we can serve our community, because it's enter to learn, depart to serve here at Oakwood. So taking that, we just studied the community and saw needs, just like we studied our campus and saw needs in our campus. And what this says, not only can an HBCU be respond to problems in its communities, but this partnership with Drake State says something significant, that 2 historically Black colleges can come together, can work cooperatively, not just to benefit the community, but to benefit the community through the service of its students. Yeah. So yes, I am excited.
Yeah. So how can the community get behind this and maybe support it financially? How does that happen? Can somebody speak to
Great
that?
question, Donna. Of course, when we go to locations, and now we have 7 locations, including F. Drake State Community College, they can go to www.oakwood.edu/giving and donate to this, or if they actually just send a check to the president's office and says to Oakwood University, 7000 Adventist Boulevard, Huntsville, Alabama, 35896, and say, I want to be a part of the solution for our communities. 100% of that money goes to these initiatives. And Donna, don't forget, we're also adding a food pantry as soon as the community center opens. So the people that Dr. Sims talked about who may be most at risk, they will be able to get a ticket. Dr. Lisa Dalrymple will give them a ticket that will allow them to come to the community center and receive their grocery basket.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That reminds me though, one other question for the students that will be helping. Will they be able, are they just volunteering or are they getting any financial assistance? And how does that work? Maybe with, are the students getting any financial assistance for working the market? I mean, the mobile market?
The students, well, we're excited that we're going to be sure that our students can access. In preparation for this interview, I asked our staff, one of the staff members, to just poll the students. And what we found is over half of our student bodies say that they'd like to have fresh fruits and vegetables, but they don't have access to them regularly during the week.
Okay.
And so what we want to do is to make sure that we change that. We want to change that metric. And so we are providing vouchers for our students to ensure that they can all participate. And so that means that this experience becomes twice as rich for our students. They not only have the opportunity to experience the mobile market, but then to work alongside Oakwood University students to understand more about business, entrepreneurship, and how, I mean, this creative idea, you never know where this idea can lead and the thoughts that it can stimulate among our students. So I'm excited for our students to work alongside Oakwood University students for this entire experience. So it continues to expand. I mean, I think we can come up with a number of ways that we all benefit from this partnership.
All right, Dr. Pollard, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Do you have some final words?
Yes, I'd like to I'd like to end by quoting Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
He was asking the question in one of his own speeches, why should there be hunger? And this is what he said. He said, there is no deficit in human resources. The deficit is in human will. The well-off and the secure have too often become indifferent and oblivious to the poverty and deprivation in their midst. That's Dr. Martin Luther King on hunger. So what we are doing today is a demonstration of will, that we want to make a difference where we stand. And we may not be able to fix everything, but we can do something. And that's what we are doing today. And I'm grateful that Oakwood and Drake State are partnering together to try to speak and to try to be a blessing where we live. And I'm grateful for that. And generations of students will leave and remember this moment when we came together to say, your well-being actually matters to us. So thank you. And thank you, Dr. Sims. Thank you, Drake State. Thank you, Dr. Prudence, Dr. Lisa. Thank you, Dr. Monica, and the whole team. And I'm excited. We'll do our MOU signing today at 10 o'clock at Drake State. So we are going to be heading over there in just a few moments. And it's going to be a wonderful occasion.
Thank you, Dr. Pollard. This has been another edition of Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard. Join us Thursday for another edition when we'll be discussing vegan chefs. That's going to be exciting. So we'll see you on Thursday. You're listening to WJOU 90.1 FM, licensed to Oakwood University.